Welcome to Elevate and Thrive, Breaking Barriers for an Empowered Life. I'm your host, Jen Smith, and I am so excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are going to break barriers, defy expectations, and soar to new heights. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I cannot wait to see where it takes us. Remember, you are worthy, you are enough, and your journey to an empowered life starts now. Hey everyone, Jen Smith here with Organically Healed. I am your host of Elevate and Thrive, and I am so excited that you are here with me this week. So this week, I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about what happens when we get into a relationship with somebody and we are just starting to get to know them. We want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's some things that really click in the beginning. And then as you get to know that person, you start to see some things that don't really jive with who you are, maybe what your values are, maybe with how you like to see other people treated, or maybe even treated yourself. So if you are like me, I have experienced this multiple times in my life. And one of the things that I've really learned as I've gotten older and as I've walked this journey and had all of these different experiences is that when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And this is something that I had a really hard time with for a long time. I am the kind of person that I want to see the good in everybody. I want to believe that we are all in a place of growth and love, and that people really, at the root of it all, are good and good-hearted and coming from a place of love. For the most part, I believe that that's true. But also, I have come to learn that we all see things through the lens of our own perception. And what does that mean exactly? Well, that means that we all have our own unique experiences as we walk through life. And it starts with childhood. It starts with the area that we're born into, the parents that we're born from, the people that we're surrounded by, the situations that are around us, the family that we have around us, the neighbors, the friends, all of it. It all influences our experiences. And from those experiences, we form beliefs. We form beliefs about the world. We form beliefs about who we are. We form beliefs about who other people are. And it's all because of what I call this lens of perception. And so as we walk through life, what I have come to understand is that oftentimes we're not seeing things as they are. We're seeing things as we believe that they are. And this is an interesting aspect of the human brain because our perception creates our reality, but our reality doesn't always necessarily equal truth. And so, what do we do with this? What do we do with this little piece of knowledge that I'm sharing? Well, I think that what we can do with it is we can learn how to be objective. And as you continue down a journey of personal growth and understanding and self-reflection, because really that's what self-growth is, that's what personal growth is. It's reflecting inward on how we are viewing and understanding the world and questioning, is what I'm perceiving to be true right now actually the truth? Is my belief system, is what I believe to be true actually happening? Is that matching what the other person is intending? Is that matching what is being presented? And oftentimes, when we just ask ourselves that simple question, is this truth? Or do I just believe this is true because of my past experiences? We might get a different answer from what we might have originally thought. And so the willingness to explore that possibility, in my opinion, is where the personal growth is. And you might explore a situation and come back with the same exact answer, and it might be exactly what you thought it was, and that's totally okay. But I think that when we are willing to go within and really explore our part in things and really take a look at, is this my lens of perception influencing what I believe to be true or what I believe is happening in this moment? It can be a complete game changer, because what happens then is it starts to help our brain break some of these patterns and these beliefs that come oftentimes from childhood. If you've learned anything about the subconscious, what you might know or understand, or maybe for those that haven't really explored that very much, all of the things that happen up until we are about the age of 7 years old, we are these little sponges just soaking up all of the things that are said, all of the actions around us, what our parents do, what our parents tell us we should do, shouldn't do. Do you remember when you were a kid being in a situation where your parents told you to be quiet, or you were really angry about something, maybe feeling like you couldn't quite express that emotion, or maybe you were sad and you decided that at some point you were going to hide your tears. You were going to go away from everybody else and hide your tears. Those are all learned behaviors. When we are born into this world, we are just this expressive, authentic beings. And what happens is the world around us tells us that these authentic beings that we are doesn't quite fit with the mold of what's going on around us. And we have this innate need to be loved and accepted. It's tribal. It goes back to survival. When you're in a situation that requires you to survive, you have to have support. You have to have love. And when you don't feel those things, you start to question, and it can be just interpreted as not feeling those things. And that's what gets so tricky, is you start to change and question what you believe to be true about the world, and then you form these beliefs. And oftentimes that happens from the age of 0 to 7. And then what happens is we carry these beliefs with us that we formed in this young childhood time in our life into our adulthood. And this is what I call our little child self still running the show. Because oftentimes as adults, we don't question the beliefs that we have. We don't question the stories that we have. We don't question, is this really true? Is what I've been told from my mom, my dad, my teacher, maybe a friend or an experience, something that we learned along the way and gave meaning to, is this actually true for everybody? Or is this just true for me? Or is it true for maybe a small group of people? And again, sometimes the answer might be yes. Sometimes the answer might come back as like, yep, that checks. But more often than not, when we start to go down this road of really looking inward and questioning, is this my mind or is this truth? We'll come back with different answers. And so, how does this apply to where I started off in the very beginning? When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. So, in my case, going back to really wanting to see the best in people, really wanting to believe that everybody is good. And I still do, by the way. I still have this innate belief that we all have love and goodness in our heart, in our souls. And so that is true. And I'm not jaded to the point where I think that that's not. But also, I think that these beliefs and this lens of perception that has been formed from our childhood can get in the way of how we process the world. And that can affect our actions. And our actions obviously affect how others feel around us. That can affect how we feel around others. And also, it affects our actions and the things that we choose to do in this life. And so it's all connected. But really, my takeaway for today is that in relationships, in life, when somebody tells you what they believe to be true, I think that it's really important to be open-minded, hear the person, really hear them. And I think that's another thing too. A lot of us have gotten so far away from really hearing the other person. We hear things again through this lens of perception. The way that we process information comes from our lens of perception and what we believe to be true. And so when we start to just be willing to hear somebody else, hear their opinions, think about the possibility that maybe what we believe to be true about the world, about a situation, about a person, about a circumstance, maybe there could be more to the story than what we can see because of our lens of perception. I believe that's truly where growth happens. And so, my takeaway for today, and what I would love to invite you to explore, is the next time that you're having a conversation, maybe it's with a long term friend, maybe it's with a family member, a coworker, or just somebody that you encounter out in the world that you find challenging. And when I say challenging, I mean somebody triggers you for some reason. They do something, they say something that you don't agree with or doesn't feel good to you. Just take a second and stop and say, is this my lens of perception influencing how I'm feeling about this situation or this person right now? And if you can do that, I promise you that things will take on this beautiful change in your life, because you realize that when somebody says or does something that triggers you, really what it is it's something that we need to understand about ourselves. It's a reflection of something that we need to dig deeper with. Maybe it's something that is rooting back to our childhood experiences that we need to understand and question a little bit. Maybe it's something that we're seeing in somebody that's a good thing. And we need to be able to recognize that we have that in ourselves. And so everyone that encounters us, everyone that crosses our path, even if it's just briefly, absolutely crosses our path for a reason. And so when you start to ask yourself, what do I need to understand about this situation? What do I need to understand about this person? What do I need to understand about how I'm feeling about this experience? Then a whole new world opens up, and you realize that there are good people in the world. And maybe sometimes you're just processing the information in a way that doesn't feel good to you because of your past experiences. And maybe sometimes you're processing it exactly how it's meant to be processed, and that's okay too. And when we can understand ourselves on a deeper level, on why maybe we think about the things the way that we do, then we can better understand other people. And I think that when we truly start to go down that road, that creates change not only for ourselves, but it creates change for those around you. So that is my message today. I hope that you are having an amazing day. I do want to mention I have a few things that are coming up. I actually have a special coming up for my coaching for the month of December. So keep your eyes out for that. If you are not a member of my community, I would invite you to join. I have links on my social media to join my email list. I have links on my website, organicallyhealed.com, to join my email list. So you're going to get some specials
in regards to that. And then also, I have some different seminars and groups coming up in the near future. One of them is around anxiety. And so keep your eyes out for that. And then I'm going to be doing my Empowered Life course again in January. And as we know, January is a time for kind of starting fresh, new years and new goals. And so I'll be running some specials with that too. So right now, I would just invite you to, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Also, join my email list because I would love to have you be a part of my community, and you will find some great tips and also some upcoming specials of really amazing things I've been working on. So take care, everybody. Until we meet again, just want you to remember that you are loved, you are enough, and I'm walking this journey with you.